You know, honestly, I didn't think that would work, but nice. I was stuck in the 20s for like months, man. Yeah, I had to wear this for the opening thing, so I just decided I might as well wear it for the rest of the time, except for the hat, not the hat. Oh, this is so disgusting. I feel like every person on 4chan when I wear this. I feel like the kind of guy that tries to convince lesbians that they're not actually lesbians. So what do you mean you only like girls? I just think you haven't been with the right guy yet. Like me, I'm a really nice. It's just rubbing alcohol. My last video was about the best movies from any generation. So I went from 30s to 90s and I listed off the best movies from every decade. And that was a lot of fun, and I think I was on point for most of those. But now I'm going to talk about the best decade for film. Let's start with the 30s. The 30s was a cinematic movement. It's when it all really started. You had your King Kongs, your All Quiet on the Western Front, you had your Wizard of Oz. But the 30s and 40s were just kind of showing us what greatness would be to come. Then we have the 50s. The 50s are fantastic. The 50s are when Hitchcock really had his reign in the business. The reason I'm not choosing the 50s is because it was really just Hitchcock. If you think 50s, you think Hitchcock. That's really the guy that you go to. Orson Welles wasn't killing it in the 50s like Hitchcock was. A lot of greats in the 60s, I'm willing to give it an honorable mention. I'm sure at the time people were thinking, this is the best it's ever gonna get. But if we're thinking in our modern standards, we really can't crown it the best. 70s, 80s, and 90s are the top three competing for the crown. If you watched my last video, you might think I'm gonna say 90s, because I had 20 nominees for 90s. And I totally would, but then there's this kind of stuff in the 90s. Yeah, no. Like, Nirvana didn't really have music videos, but if they did, this is how they'd be filmed. Oh my god. I'm having a heart attack right now. Hermione Corrine is murdering me as we speak. So that's why I'm not picking 90s. But 90s is still up there. I would guess that if you took a poll of everybody in the world, at least 60% of human beings, their favorite film would have been made in the 90s. Let's bounce back to 70s. 70s, you had The Godfather, you had Star Wars, you had a lot of great films. Scorsese got his start in the 70s. Some young, coked up kid making all these great movies. That's who I want to be someday. The difference between the 70s and the 90s is quantity and quality. The 90s had so many movies because they realized they could start making money off movies in the 80s. Like, lots of money, a sacrilegious amount of money. And in the 90s, they started this new era that I hate, that they just put these big stars and a lot of sex appeal in the pictures, and they try to buy you with it. The 70s, on the other hand, had a classier vibe. If I were to watch every movie made in the 70s, I think there'd be like 300 good movies. Like, the 90s probably has 1,000 good movies. I still contend that 1994 is the best year cinema's ever experienced, so that year probably had to have at least 100. So why is 70s still in the race? Well, even though there's only gotta be like 300 good movies, they're really, really good movies. Like, if you trimmed the fat from the list on the 90s, you'd have like 200 incredible films. The 70s, you'd still have the even three. I could argue about the 70s versus the 90s all day because they're on a kind of an even keel. But I did skip a generation, the 1980s. I will probably always think this, no matter how long I live, the 1980s is the best generation for film ever. Because that's when they weren't scared to make new things. Up in the 90s, they knew filmmaking was a cash crop and they took advantage of that. In the 1980s, it was perfect. Because there was still that threat of, we need to make money for the corporation and people gotta get paid, the higher ups want cash. But people had a higher standard back then. Nowadays, movies are just so bad. Not all movies, I'm not trying to be a douche here and saying that everything today is awful and I wish I lived in the 80s. I don't. But everything today has so much like lens flare and all this CGI. I was supposed to have CGI come around. Yep. My the guy I paid to do the CGI, he couldn't make it. His dog died. That probably just saved me $30,000 on this video. But you get the point, people like Michael Bay are ruining it for everybody. Because that guy is demonstrating that you can make billions of dollars making crappy motion pictures. And it's unfortunate, because times like the 80s, let's go back to the 80s. Like, I'll give you an example. Beetlejuice. I still like cinema today, I'm trashing on it, but to be honest, Beetlejuice would never get made today. It's too risky. It's like it's a dead guy and he helps people. What's going on? Let's make a new Mad Max. Ugh. Mad Max was great, by the way. The new Mad Max was fantastic. Let me get that out of the way. Oof. But they'd be too worried that it wouldn't make money, that it wouldn't get made. I would love to see the scripts that Hollywood turns down. The ones that made it to the guy's desk. Like, 10 people read through this script, so they were like, this is pretty good, let's get it to this guy's desk so we can do something about it. I want to see the ones he turns down, because they gotta be all weird. It's like if you try something new in Hollywood nowadays, it just gets thrown in the trash. And that's why the 80s is best. And I guess it's not Hollywood's fault. I guess we've created such a high bar of stimulus for ourselves that we can't watch things anymore that aren't super in-your-face action or laugh-out-loud jokes. Anyway, I would continue this video, but the suit is super hot and I really want to take it off. And, you know, continuity, I don't want to just do that because I think it'll throw you off the rest of the video, so I'm just going to end the video. Anyway, I'm out.